So they estimate there's like 3.1 million breast cancer survivors in the U.S. alive today, and out of that, 1.2 million have had mastectomies and have not reconstructed.
When someone is diagnosed with breast cancer, there's typically three choices in terms of surgery. The first being to have a lumpectomy where the cancerous tissue is the only portion of the breast that is removed. This second option is a single mastectomy where the entire breast where the cancer was found is removed. The third and most extreme option is a double mastectomy where both breasts are removed. This option can be used to prevent breast cancer from coming back or occurring in the first place.
5 months after we buried my mom, my sister was diagnosed with a stage 0, but fortunately was caught enough. So because of her history, she too did a double mastectomy with reconstruction. And that's when I knew it was going to be me next.
With the first time, I certainly went into a surgery thinking that I might have to have a mastectomy. And then the second time I was going to have a mastectomy. That was like the only option. And even then, my body was already so scarred up and messed up from other things. I was like, whatever.
I had made up my mind a long time ago that I knew once they told me I had it that I was going to have a double mastectomy and reconstruction. It was never even a thought.
Lumpectomy was an option. That was a decision that I ultimately went with, but I knew prior to that and when speaking with him that a double mastectomy certainly was an option.
I can't change anything. Everything, I don't have control of everything, but there's things that I have control of. I need to establish relationships with people who are going to help me. And, I think that's probably the way I've dealt with most things in my life. It's held me in good stead in the world of medicine.
My initial thought was, get rid of them, done. Double mastectomy. I'm over it. I don't want to even talk about it. I want them off.
Initially, when my breast surgeon, who I had been seeing for 5 years, after he called and told me that we would have the appointment, he said, we can talk about a lumpectomy. And I said, absolutely not. I told you from the beginning when you told me this, what my plan was. And I want a double mastectomy with reconstruction. And he said, if you were any other patient, I would highly encourage you to do a lumpectomy with radiation, but given your past family history, I agree.
He put both options on the table. He put the mastectomy on the table and the lumpectomy on the table. And we went through both things, with a fine-tooth comb, every detail. And I said to him, if this was your wife, what would you do? And he said to me that he couldn't answer that. And he just explained that every case is so different, and that that he felt very comfortable if I decided to go with a lumpectomy. As a physician, as a surgeon, he was very comfortable with that.
Because he can't, when it's stage 1, a doctor cannot recommend that a patient has. That's radical, that's too extreme. There's many alternatives, but he knew, given my past family history, as well as what I wanted, he said, I think that's the best recommendation for you.
I definitely thought to myself, okay, had I had the mastectomy the very first time, maybe I wouldn't be dealing with this right now. And I know that my daughter said that when we talked about it, and I told her, everything that was going on when she had, second time. And she was like, you should have had a mastectomy the first time and you wouldn't be dealing with this.
So you do kind of go back and go, why did I do that? Like, you're always kind of second guessing the decisions you made that you could only have made given your understanding and the information that you had at the time, but you still, little bitter.
But I also felt like at the time that wasn't really an option. That the cancer was so small and so stage 0. That felt so radical to me. That a decision to do that just felt, and I don't want to say against medical advice, but that when I talked to the surgeon, he's like, that's not really a road we even need to go down. It's
Inside or on the outside, you want to believe that, and you say to yourself, I got this, I can do this, but on the inside, I was so scared. I saw my sister go through it. I was in the hospital with her the day she came out of surgery. She said it felt like a Mack truck was sitting on her chest, and she said the most pain she's ever felt in her entire life. I was so scared for that.
And when we met with the breast surgeon at Northwestern, first of all, when he came in, he said, "Hey, it was nice to meet us," introduced himself, and he said, "I hope somebody's made it very apparent to you that, you are not going to die from this." And I was like, as soon as he said that, I was like, oh my gosh.
I think inside I was very scared. I knew I was going to be okay. I knew I was going to be fine. I was scared for the physical part, for the pain. I have a very low threshold for pain. As I sit here today, I feel it pulling. Every now and then I feel tiny little needles going in. So I'll always have that. And I was scared of how it was gonna emotionally make me feel. And I was scared.
Even after a person has surgery for breast cancer, there are still more decisions to be made. One of these decisions is whether or not to reconstruct the breast that was removed or simply to remain flat.
When I was discussing surgery with my breast surgeon, and he asked me to go see the plastic surgeon, and I let him know that I said I didn't have any interest in that I just wanted him to make me flat, that I did not want to reconstruct. And he said, okay, I'll just, you'll have a scar going from one armpit to the other and across the chest, one scar. And I said, great, thank you. And that's what he did.
A double mastectomy certainly was an option that I did not want to have reconstruction. I was concerned, I think for me, just the surgeries and the pain.
First thought when people would say, well, how do you feel? And I would say, I feel free, and I felt free. And I don't know, I used to be large breasted, so I don't know if it was, because I didn't have the breasts anymore, or it was because the cancer's out. I don't know. I kind of had a feeling that it was a good feeling that I was free. Research all your options. I have heard of women that didn't even know flat was an option. That you're in such a kind of a stupor when they tell you have breast cancer, and what do I do now? And they say, okay, go see her, go see them, and right away they send go to plastics, because plastics just wants to return you to your prior image.
Why is that? Why can I not have the reconstruction? And why is that so much the norm? And it kind of is, but for me, it was never the norm, and no physician pushed it on me, because I was like, I'm gonna have another surgery. So no physician, I think, really felt like I'm not even gonna go there, because she's not gonna want one more surgery because she's had these other awful surgeries.
I've even heard stories where the doctor will send the woman to a psychologist first to have a conversation of why she wants to go flat. No, but I was very lucky. I had a great surgeon, and he listened to me, and he did exactly what I asked him to do.
For me, because it's apparent still in the mirror, and I'm sure, like I say, when women undress and get in the shower, that's the real side of it. It's almost, you can't help not thinking about it, because it's part of your, regardless if you had a lumpectomy, mastectomy, reconstruction, whatever, it is still part of your physical being.
But sometimes if you're going out somewhere, it's like, oh, I'm going to a social event, I gotta dress up, okay, I have to get the prosthetics, and I got the prosthetics, but I couldn't wear the prosthetics because of the sensitivity of my chest and the scar right there. Because the traditional mastectomy garments have the elastic bra band or shelf bra that was constantly against my mastectomy scars, so I just couldn't wear prosthetics. I've tried those. So I would try to wear those if I was dressing up and going to special events, but it didn't really work, so I was left being flat, and so that's what I was flat for 8 years until we decided to develop something, a way to wear the prosthetics without the heavy and restrictive bra bands, and that's when we developed our patented product now. I have been living flat for the last 8 years, and I heard the same complaints from many other breast cancer survivors, so we decided to take matters into our own hands, and Complete Shaping was born. Complete Shapings, all-in-one garment, has eliminated the heavy and restrictive elastic of the bra band and the shelf bra, leaving just soft, smooth, comfortable fabric against the mastectomy scars. We've also built in ultra lightweight prosthetics. This entire garment weighs less than 10 ounces. And so I'm just trying to solve all those problems. There were problems for me. I made it for myself, and friends started asking me for it, and it was my son that said, Mom, you have to share this.
Biggest thing for me about breast cancer awareness is get checked. I remember there would be these cartoons in emails showing a woman having a mammogram, and it's saying something like, a mammogram is like having your breast put under a car tire, and well, who cares? Who cares? It's a minute, it's 2 minutes of it being pressure or pressed to know a lifetime. It would make me so angry when I would see these cartoons, and then maybe women wouldn't have it, because it's a test that can determine, God forbid, if you have something growing inside of you. So I think for me it was more about get tested. This is awareness to, in every way, take part, take control of your body, be an advocate. No one's doing this for you.